Northeast Podcast, WATP.
John said he's done with the Dabbleverse.
I think I set the over-under at 2 weeks.
Yeah, you were right.
Yeah.
You were right because he did his last show a couple weeks ago on a Wednesday and then was gone for a week and a half, comes back on a Sunday, does a political show, and declares, done with the Dabbleverse. I'm over it. I'm too smart for this. I don't need it. And then he comes back on Wednesday. And he saw a Muttering J tweet that he had to talk about. And he did a whole show, and we broke that down on the last WATP, where, Shuli's former producer caught with CP, and John saying that Shuli's just as guilty, and that Shuli must have stuff on his computer because there were emails sent. And John just jumping to all these conclusions and alleging all sorts of
viruses.
misconduct. Yeah, it's ridiculous. A lot of allegations coming out of John, but he's taking his big victory lap. And this is another thing that's like really gross. Everyone who's celebrating the fact that this StutJo character, this monster, was really into CP, and they're like, oh, this is a win for us. No, it's a terrible thing for all of society. Whatever. So then Chad Zumock does a show going, great job, John. You came back up. You said you weren't going to. And now you've given Uncle Rico and who are these podcasts more content, more things to talk about. And John was watching as Chad was saying this and sent him a super chat. And he goes, well, you also give him a lot of material because Chad goes, you only did it because you needed the money. That's why you came on. And he's like, well, you do those 5-hour live streams on Saturdays just for the money. You're a hypocrite. And so Chad was like, oh, motherfucker. He started going after John pretty hard, as Chad likes to do. And so now John comes back yesterday. He might be on right now. I don't know. But John comes back yesterday and does a whole show about Chad Zumock and this little segment that happened. And we covered a little bit of it on Dabble Point yesterday. But I want to break it down more on this show. We have someone to help us break this down, and that would be...
It looks like he's live now.
Is he live now? Okay. I'm sure he's talking about Mr. Zumock. We have a guy here who I think his name is wrong on this. It looks like it's OJ. Is that you, OJ?
Oh, yeah, I'm really high.
OJ, you're always so
I put the
baked.
name wrong.
Oh,
yeah, okay. What's
Whoever
up?
you are.
What's up, OJ? It was good to see you on Dabble Point yesterday. Now you're on WATP. This is great, making the rounds.
Yeah, I'm a big star.
You are a big star. I think ever since DabbleCon, your star has really risen. There you go. Now you got the name right. Good job.
So high, man.
I get it, man. I get it. These things happen for sure. Let me just get out of this and...
Yeah, John is live. Chad's sniping John live.
Okay.
Like, they're all just battling each other for fucking... it's
I
hilarious.
love it. I love John and Chad fighting because they're both so bad at it.
Yeah.
That it's actually a lot of fun to watch these two try to take each other apart. And it starts off, John explains a little backgrounder of why he was even watching Chad that day. Because John normally wouldn't be watching Can't Stomach the Zumock, but he explains why he was.
I happened to go on YouTube, and there I see Chad, nobody can stomach the Zumock. Now, it was either that or click on an old Stern clip that, of course, featured me doing the news with Robin. So I was like, all right, I'm not as vain as you people think I am, which is what Chad accused me of, being an egomaniac. But the reason why he said it is for something very silly. But we will dissect all of this idiot. And I almost was going to, after it happened, I was like, do I even want to address this fool? He's a nobody. He's a loser. Mm-hmm. He's never a headline. He's lying. He doesn't headline any clubs.
Yeah, it might be beneath you, John. I'm sure you're not going to spend the next, 18 hours of your podcasts talking about Chad Zumock. I like that he's like, I wasn't even going to address this, but instead, that's all I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to talk about.
I happen to have my resume right here.
Yeah. And I love that he says, I pop on YouTube. Now, the algorithm shows you stuff they think you're going to click on. So, of course, there's an old Howard Stern clip with him featured in it.
Yeah.
That's all he watches on YouTube, which is embarrassing. And I'm sure he's seen it before, probably multiple times.
Oh, he's watched it 100 times.
Yeah. I'm sure he knows it by heart. So the fact that he's like, and I decided to click on Chad rather than rewatch this Howard Stern segment.
You know in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where he goes, Daddy, I don't have to watch it. I lived it. And he walks away like a boss.
That's what
that
Paul
John
would
can't
do.
do that. He's not even as cool as Pee-wee Herman.
Well, no one's as cool as Pee Wee Herman. Pee Wee's Big Adventure. So John is a hypocrite here. I have to call him out for this because he's all concerned that his super chat to Chad did not merit the reaction that he received from Chad.
This is where the punishment doesn't match the crime. Watch his diatribe against me. Now, that's all I said. I didn't call him anything except a hypocrite. And watch his response. It's like as if I fucking goofed on his mother or something.
He went off on one, did he, old Chadley?
Yeah, like way out of line. Nothing to do. I mean, just.
I thought he was okay with you.
Yeah, but no, the punishment does not fit the crime. But don't worry, when you cross the Duke, don't worry, Chad.
You
Now
fired a
I'm
super
going to
soaker.
expose you.
Okay, a couple of things here. First off, the idea that John would say the punishment doesn't fit the crime, that's John's entire strategy in life. Cardiff, if he was here, he would point it out. That's the drink bleach Artie. Yes. Like Artie says your movie wasn't very good or it got bad reviews. And his response is, why don't you try to kill yourself again? Whoa. What just happened here? We're just making jokes. And you went right to this really serious thing. And John's like, I can't believe Chad came back so hard at me. You can't?
Yeah.
That's Chad's things too.
It's not like I
Ultimate
made
thing.
fun of his mother. I'll save that for next week.
Right.
He's the fucking mud shark.
Yeah. So this is so ridiculous that John would be offended by someone coming back hard at him. He's even said when people, I remember when he was on Anthony's show and he's like, yeah, that's what I do. That's what you're supposed to do. Someone says something to you, you say the worst thing possible back to them. No, you're a comedian.
So, yeah, you don't understand.
You bust balls. Right. So he's
Life.
Right. But then when it happens to him, he gets very upset and butthurt about it. So then he says at the end there, he's going to expose Chad. Now, John, first off, can't expose anyone. Remember when he was going to come back last summer? He was tweeting about how he's got all this dirt on me and Bob and Shuley, and he's going to come back and he's got all this stuff. And then he comes back and he's got nothing.
Yeah.
He had absolutely nothing. So then he got this PI, Dustin, who was going to help him get all this dirt and all this stuff. He found out, I think, what I paid for my house when I bought it. You know what he didn't find out, this PI? That Shuley's producer was arrested for CP on his computer. It's like, that's the thing you should be able to find out. I don't know how no one found that out, but you didn't. You could have exposed something, John. You had a chance and you failed miserably. Now you're going to expose Chad? That ship has sailed. We did an entire breakdown of his entire criminal history, Chad. I downloaded all the documents. We went through it. And then Alex Stein had Chad on his show. And Alex was like, hey, man, you got that document? Like, yeah, send it all over to Alex. He talked to Chad about it. You're not going to expose Chad. And Chad's not embarrassed by his criminal past.
Oh.
That's the other thing, too. Chad's embraced it.
Yeah.
He's a scumbag, and he knows it.
John is constantly saying, don't worry. Don't worry.
Yeah.
And ironically, no one is ever worried about it.
Right. We're not. Nobody's worried about you. I just wonder, because I want to see how this plays out. If people start giving John information about, like, you know, Chad stole a blender from Kohl's and Chad stole vodka on New Year's Day and Chad stole credit cards and Chad had stalking charges multiple times. Like, John's gonna be like, oh, he's not gonna like that I'm exposing this. Like, no, we all know.
Yeah.
We all know about all of this.
Chad recently tried to defend his messages to a woman telling her to go to Greenland.
Oh, right. What did he say?
Yes. He said, well, she was mentally ill.
She was mentally ill. So
Yeah,
why did he tell her to off herself multiple times?
Because she was mentally ill. She was crazy.
Oh, that's a terrible
That's what
reason.
you do to crazy people. Tell them
That's a
to
terrible
go
reason.
to Greenland. Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that all the things I remember about Chad, I forget. And I've seen the emails he was sending this woman, and not just like in a manic, I'm going to send 3 or 4 messages in a row. It was over a couple of days, and it was morning, afternoon, evening,
In
the
cold
next
blood.
day, just nonstop. Like, you should off yourself. You've got nothing to live for. You're a loser. Your life sucks. Like, wow. This is
Cyberbullying.
bad dude. This is an evil guy right here that we're dealing with. And John's going to expose him. Oh, no. I'm sure he's shaking in his stolen boots. Clay's got an interesting theory here. I think he might be onto something.
And Clay.
I was going to say, after your departure, like Chad kind of took your time slot. So it was like a crack addict using nicotine to fucking, I don't know, like stop their craving for some fucking Stuttering John. You know, that's all I had was Chad.
So he's saying that Chad, the reason why he's mad at John for coming back is because Chad's numbers were going up while John wasn't doing his podcast in the afternoons, which I don't know if that's true or not. Very well could be. Clay is saying that that's what he was watching instead of John. So apparently you have to watch some asshole who annoys you.
Yeah, some liar.
During the afternoon. That's the time slot. You need that in your life. If Clay did it, maybe other people did too. That'd be kind of funny if that's the reason. Yeah, OJ?
John and Chad are interchangeable.
In a lot of ways, they are. Yes. Chad, you would think that Chad had the career that John did, the way he talks about himself being a radio guy and a radio veteran. I mean, at least Chad didn't answer the phones. He actually was the third mic on a radio show. John was never that. John was brought in to either be ridiculed or to tattletale on people. But other than that, he was to answer the phones and get off the fucking toilet and go answer the phones, John. Spending too much time in the bathroom. It's annoying. This is a little comp I put together. John's so proud of himself. Now, there's speculation because John came prepared for a show for the first time ever. He shows up to this show. He's playing the clip of Chad calling him out. And then he's ready with responses and tweets and different things to prove that Chad's a loser and that Kevin Brennan shouldn't like him. And for the first time he's prepared with this, he mentioned that the legend helped him out. The legend gave him some tweets or links and things like that. But there's also speculation that maybe a tiny little lawyer who was suing John for $12.5 million might be in control of some things now on John's channel and pulling some strings behind the scenes. And perhaps that's the person who's giving John, because remember, John used to say he would watch that guy's show and that was his prep. All he had to do was watch VTL and then he knew what he was going to present on his show. So there's a possibility of that. But John's so proud of himself that he knows what he's going to say for once, that he's like, Clay, I let you be on my show, but you cannot talk. And this is just a compilation of him telling Clay to shut the fuck up.
So now we shall begin. And
If you
Clay,
mess with a ball.
in this part of the segment, I just want you to just try and just let me
Mum's the word.
talk a lot because I have a lot to say.
You too could be on Kevin's show and getting money and promoting your YouTube show, but no, you're complicated and you're a dick.
What does he need to?
Hold on, Clay.
The whole fucking Dabbleverse promotes
Hey,
John's
hold
show.
on.
Why does he need to?
Clay, please, you gotta let me just do what I actually worked on this. You know, I planned this. So you just
Go.
gotta go.
Zip.
Chadley. I don't like to brag about it because that's just because.
No, yes, you
fans
shouldn't
and-
brag about it. No,
But I
because people
will
don't
say
want.
this, Clay, remember, you gotta just let me talk.
I know, sweetheart. Come on.
Okay. Now listen to me.
El Duco sounds like poo poo.
So you throw me off, Clay. But anyway, so yes, I don't need to beat Kevin Brennan's lapdog. Now let me just say this.
Okay, yeah. Let me just say this. Listen to me. Let me just say this. Even when John is prepared, he's not prepared. And anything will throw him off. Yeah. Just Clay trying to get a word in. He's like, oh, now I fucking lost everything I was going to say. Well,
Now I got to start over.
God damn it. ClayDabbler. ClayDabbler is like one of the worst co-hosts ever. He cannot stop talking.
Yeah.
Once he starts, you're just like, okay, you're going to keep saying that over and over again? We got it. We heard you.
It's never a clean interjection either.
No. He's always trampling on him. Now, Cardiff Electric, my buddy the Potato, used to come on the show. A lot of times for the John segments. I don't know if I can ever talk to that guy again because he has been removed from YouTube for violating the terms of service, which, I can't condone that type of behavior. And I will just say right now, I disavow. Cardiff is dead to me because that's fucked up.
Okay. FCE.
FCE. Now, let's find out why Cardiff got his YouTube channel removed.
Chadley, just know one thing. When you cross the Duke,
What's with the fucking Chadley? We were talking about this last night at dinner, producer Chris. Why does he think that's a sick burn or an insult? Chadley? I don't like any of his names for people, but that one's the least creative.
Yeah, and innocent. It almost sounds cute.
It's so low effort. Like Chadley'd be like, "You better not call me Chadley, or you gotta stop calling me Chadley."
I think he just got it from Clay.
It's better than can't stomach the Zumock, which is still the dumbest thing. He mispronounces his name, and I think he did get it from Clay. Yeah, I think Clay was calling him Chadley. All right,
Chadley, just know one thing: when you cross the Duke, shit happens. Just ask Cardiff Electric.
Oh dear, yeah, Cardiff. I would hate to say that's a dose of karma, really. Like that shit. Like, you know, like I was kind of impartial to those guys, but that shit Cardiff did was so below the belt with Oscar. It's like, what the, like Cardiff, like you've probably got kids, right, Cardiff?
all right. I'm gonna keep that running in just a moment, but let me start off by just saying John taking credit for Cardiff's channel going down. He had nothing to do with it. But he acts like, crossed the Duke. I've already taken down Cardiff. Like, he's like ISIS.
Yeah.
He'll take credit for fucking anything. Like, oh, someone got stabbed in Germany? We did that.
Yeah.
Like, no, you didn't, ISIS.
He's like Patrick Michael taking credit for an AI song.
Right. Yes, you didn't write a song. You didn't play guitar on it. Talking
But
about.
it's already backfired on him.
Why's that?
So apparently someone started a Strike John's channel campaign in retaliation. And he's saying that we blamed him for striking Cardiff's channel, but
No, he's taking
he
full
did this
credit.
himself.
He's taking
Yeah.
full credit for it
An idiot.
immediately. Uh-oh. See, John, you play with fire. This is what... Okay, I shouldn't say this is why. There's a lot of reasons why I don't go around blocking or copyright striking or telling people to do that and report channels. It's all bullshit. Don't do that. Let everyone do their show. Everyone should have a voice and get a chance to do their thing. If you're good, people will listen to it and watch. If you're not good, you'll have Chad's numbers.
It's right, Cardiff.
We'll
Does your
review
wife
it.
know
Right, of course.
He'll be on
you
all
did that
apologies.
shit to John? Like Oscar is a young 18-year-old kid's going to graduate once in his life.
Okay, so what they're describing now, and OJ, you were closer to Cardiff than I was, so maybe you know more about this. But apparently, Cardiff said a one-off thing about he was going to live stream Oscar's graduation on like Be Dabbling Live or something.
Yes. He
Okay.
was going to fly to California, set up all his equipment to live stream Oscar's graduation.
And that was taken seriously by John because he's stupid or because he
Yes.
wanted to feel like he was a victim. I mean, let's be honest what's going on here. John wants to act like Cardiff did something horrible to his family. Right. And so now, and Clay's playing into this too, like to a ridiculous amount. I hope this is all a troll on Clay's part, because now they're saying that if Cardiff had done that, he didn't, but if he had, that would have ruined the entire graduation, would have ruined Oscar's entire high school career if someone went there and live streamed it.
Can you imagine if somebody was recording a graduation ceremony? That never happens.
I've seen the graduation ceremony. We all have.
Every fucking parent is recording
Yes.
it. It's not disrupting anything.
It doesn't make any sense. What's going to happen? There's people on YouTube putting comments in that are
Yeah, it'd be weird if you were the parent that wasn't recording.
right. So this whole argument is bizarre. I don't even understand it. Do you understand it, OJ?
No. But Oscar was very scared of
Yes.
the potato showing up. Yeah.
Right. They explained that
It's
Oscar
understandable.
was concerned. So John's son, who's now in Harvard, very smart kid, is watching Be Dabbling Live on Saturday mornings.
What kid isn't?
A lot of them do, but I'm just saying I don't think Oscar probably is. I don't think he would have seen that. If Oscar knew this was a possibility, it's only because John told him that.
Yes.
Which, again, doesn't make any fucking sense. Why would you do that?
Wasn't he more afraid that his biological father would actually show up to
Yes, that's what's really happening. I feel like Frenchie Hanna. Yes, yes, that's correct.
Oh, you did that shit to John. Like Oscar is a young
And he says, you did that shit to John. Again, it's like when John says he'll do you a favor, it's like he did you a favor. Cardiff makes a joke about live streaming graduation. I can't believe you would do that to John. I can't believe you did that. He didn't do anything. He did absolutely nothing.
got kids, right, Cardiff? Does your
And
wife
also,
know you did
he's only seems to be upset about it 2.5 months later.
Yes, now it's a huge deal and a huge issue all of a sudden.
that shit to John? Like Oscar is a young 18-year-old kid's going to graduate once in his life. Once. It happens once in a lifetime. And for Dabbleverse
For some
likes,
people.
or for whatever bullshit reason you did that as a joke, I don't see where the punchline is there. That you decided to threaten to...
There?
Pardon? Yeah, they said he was going to live stream it. And fucking, why would you do that? Why would you ruin a kid's one day in his whole life?
And my kid got wind of it, and he was afraid.
It's fucking so grimy, that is, Cardiff. I thought you was a better man than that, to be honest.
What are they going on and on about? It's going to, first off, I don't know how you guys feel about high school graduation. I don't even remember that day. I don't give a fuck about it. I think we had a fun graduation party afterwards. I remember that. We got a kegger. It was cool. But it's not like my graduation day was so important. Ooh, wow, I graduated high school. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying. It's really not that big a deal, especially for a kid who's going to fucking Harvard. He's going to have better days ahead. More important days. But also, none of this would ruin anything. It's all absurd what they're saying here. They're just making this up. And they go on with this shit. It's nuts.
I didn't know that he gives a shit about my respect.
But hold on. Clay, not only was he graduating, he was graduating valedictorian, and they were announcing that he's going to Harvard. So
yeah, okay. What does that have to do with anything? So that's a good thing. So people are trying to clown him and be like, oh, shit, he's going to Harvard and he's valedictorian? Oh. Sounds like he's a really smart kid. Like, what do you mean? Like, they're making this up to... I don't even understand what their rationale is for this.
They don't either, but
no, of course not.
Almost up there with Shuli's just as guilty.
Yes, it is. It's right up there. So Cardiff loses his YouTube channel, and they're like, well, he deserves that because he once made a comment that he might come to a graduation and live stream it. Like, oh, okay. I guess the punishment fits the crime on this one? Okay, if you say so.
It's the same.
Well, Carl.
Go ahead, OJ.
Cardiff was planning to start a loser chant when they announced Oscar's name. Like he was going to get the whole stadium chanting.
Yeah, I'm sure the parents would go along with that.
Asshole.
Holy shit. And our valedictorian, Oscar Melendez.
Please. Trying to make a point. And this is a huge deal that's going down right before our very eyes here.
Oh, Harvard just called. You're no longer accepted. He didn't realize you're such an asshole. So it's not going to happen now.
This is fabricating a reason to be upset with Cardiff. The same thing with the MP3 on your Patreon.
Yep.
It never fucking happened, but it's forever held against you.
Yep.
Something that
it
never
justifies
fucking happened.
all of his awful behavior.
Yeah.
He can just say, he did this thing to me, and therefore I can do whatever I want all the time.
Yeah. Drink bleach.
All right. Yeah, drink bleach, Chad.
So this is going to be the most special moment in this kid's life, and Cardiff wants to ruin that?
Ruin that? How's he going to ruin that, John? How do you think he was going to ruin that?
He's going to ruin Harvard.
Yeah, it's for likes on X.
I can guarantee one thing, though.
Yeah.
Cardiff would have had a better seat.
Yes. Cardiff would have been allowed actually in the vicinity.
Fucking what? For what, Cardiff? For what? A couple of fucking likes or reposts? It's fucking, that is so low, Cardiff. You should be ashamed of yourself.
He really should.
You should be.
You know, and to even have that in my kid's mind, it's
horrible.
In your kid's mind, where is he seeing this? Where does he know about it? Was Cardiff going to get this whole thing shut down? Or, like, sorry guys, no diplomas today. Cardiff has ruined graduation. None of you actually graduate. What's he talking about? Clay goes on to explain that he used to like Cardiff, but he stopped watching him, and everyone else has too.
Humble. Cardiff used to be quite humble, but the Dabbleverse fame, even though he's dwindling and people don't really watch his shit anymore. I know I haven't watched it for, God knows, 8 months. I haven't tuned into his shit. But, yeah, it was dwindling, so that's what you're resorting to.
So how do you know that his numbers are going down if you stopped watching 8 months ago? That doesn't make any sense at all. Well, I stopped watching. Yeah. I mean, other people stopped watching? OJ, I believe Cardiff's numbers have been going up steadily for his entire time on YouTube. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, John would love to get the numbers that Cardiff's been getting Monday nights. But
no shit.
That's gone now.
Well, maybe Cardiff will get his channel back, but if not, he's over on Rumble.
Yes, Rumble.
So definitely
with all the other losers.
Subscribe to him on Rumble with Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones and Cardiff Electric.
Roseanne's going to be a guest soon.
Roseanne, that's your Rumble lineup over there. So that's just nonsensical. Clay's an idiot. And the one part that I enjoyed on this episode was when Clay was explaining to John that John was definitely trying to fuck Kate Meany. And John just cannot admit that. for whatever reason, he'll just deny. We all know you were trying to fuck Kate Meany, John. All of us do. We knew that before we heard the conversations.
Yeah.
Then we heard the conversations like, oh, yeah, he's trying to fuck Kate Meany. It's very obvious right now. And so Clay, even though he's sucking up to John and wants to be his buddy, he's like, yeah, but you can't tell me we're trying to fuck Kate Meany. And this is the dumbest argument ever.
You might not agree with my points, but as something I saw, you came across as an older guy attracted to a younger woman. I know you say you don't want to fuck her. My opinion, not yours. An older guy thinking he might get to fuck a little bit of 24-year-old clunge. So he's being nice to her, talking about, all the shit that men do, talk about trying to woo women. Yeah, he's younger, you might get some coke, we'll have a party, blah, blah, blah. And you're being naive about it, you know what I mean? And trusting.
The only reason I brought up coke is because she loves doing coke.
Yeah, of course, and because you wanted a banger. Fair enough. John, you're 50. Right, you're 58. Every 58-year, there's no 58-year-old man on. Listen to me. There's no 58-year-old man on the planet that wouldn't want to fuck a 24-year-old. I'm sure when I won't want the fucking old. I'd love to bang a 24-year-old.
I have OCD. When an OCD person makes an edict, when I said I'll never bang a girl younger than my oldest kid, I can't break that.
He expects us to believe that. My OCD makes it so I can't even fuck a hot chick who's 25 years old. I made an edict with myself, so I can't do that. It's the dumbest thing ever. No one believes that. John.
Yeah, it's funny how OCD can do things that have never been documented before. It's like the Force and all these new Star Wars things. It's, I didn't know the Force could make Princess Leia come back to life and fly through outer space.
Yeah,
I didn't know OCD could prohibit me from fucking young women.
My OCD makes you say, you know. My OCD.
This is the part where I think his co-hosts are just so embarrassed by his argument that they just let it go. They're like,
oh, for sure. Because Clay's like, all right, man, whatever.
I'm not going to dignify that with a response.
It's so stupid to say that. So John then starts talking about, because now he's trying to get back at Chad for this video that Chad did. And John was at Chad's stand-up show in Atlantic City, the Super Bowl weekend that MLC and all those guys went down there. And Chad put on this stand-up show that was really haphazard. He didn't really have amplification or microphones. Nothing was prepared because that's how Chad rolls. And John was there, as we all know. And now John's going to talk about Chad's stand-up. This is what gets me so excited about these two going after each other. They both suck at comedy, and they're going to call each other out for sucking at comedy. It's great.
You sucked so badly, and I've been trying to be nice about it. But let me just tell you, when Dirty Deeds and I were watching you, Dirty Deeds came over my shoulder and said, Pearl Harbor. And I looked back at him after every joke. I said, Nagasaki.
Hiroshima.
And then he leaned at me after another bomb joke, Hiroshima. And then I looked back at him after another bomb joke of yours and said, USS Cole. And we went back and
9/11.
We went back and forth after every lemon of a joke you told. You suck.
Imagine closing your act with the squeegee bit. And then sitting there and heckling a guy, oh, Hiroshima, am I right? I'm 5. This guy sucks at comedy. You both do.
Yeah.
You're both terrible at it.
This is a homeless fight.
Right.
Bum fights.
Yes. I got to witness one of those not too long ago in the city. And it's just, I'm there for it, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who I'm rooting for. I just want everyone to have fun. When these two go after each other about who's the worst stand-up, I just get the popcorn ready. All right, let's go. Who sucks worse at stand-up? Now your turn, Chad. I wonder what Chad's going to say to that. Because if he's ever broken down John's stand-up, that'd be the one time I'd want to watch Chad, actually.
Yeah, good point.
That'd be fun to check out. But now, John, when him and I, there was a week where he thought we were friends. And I remember I was sitting exactly right here. And I got a phone call from him. And Vinny was here. I think we were doing a Creep Off bonus show. And I go, John's calling me. So I pick it up. And John is very concerned. Carl, you won't believe it. Chad is saying he's coming over to my house to vandalize it. He just posted it on Twitter. I'm calling the police. I'm calling the FBI. Like, he was very concerned. And he thought that I'd be concerned because my house in Cape Coral's close to his. So that I'd be concerned too. And it's like, well, yeah, no, Chad says a lot of things. He's a liar. And but John at that time was very nervous. Now listen to John's tone and attitude.
So go ahead, headliner. Try to stick it to me again, motherfucker. John, you don't want this heat, bitch. You got to.
Oh, I'm so scared, Chadley. What are you going to do to me? Come to my house? Do it. Just do it. Come on over, Chad. I'm ready for you now. I'm here. Come on, Chad. Let's have a little talk.
Duke's been training.
Enough dealing with the Shuley Network. You got enough dealing with the potato and everybody else. You don't.
Oh, no, the potato's gone. And I made sure of that.
Okay. Again, taking full credit for Cardiff's channel going down. So apparently he thinks he did something. Come to my house now, he's saying. These are children that we're dealing with. Everyone wants to fight in the front yard or something.
Channels show up, and then he's like, get off my property.
Yeah, right.
I just drove.
If Chad shows up with a beer wrap filming him as he's punching in front of John's house, that would actually be the funniest thing Chad could do. I would give him a lot of credit. Maybe I'll do that. Now that I think about it. I'll be down there soon. I might do that. It'd be fun. All right, so this is the thing. And OJ, the reason why you're getting invited on these shows now instead of Cardiff is for this specific reason right here.
I was gonna say, like the potato's banned now. Like he can't go on B Dabbler's show. He can't go on OJ.
Potato goes on another show. Guess who will be there to report him? Me.
I'm not saying I agree totally with that, but it's ban evasion, and you will get.
A fuck if you agree.
I know.
All right. Thank you, ClayDabbler, for saying that. Like, yeah, well, don't report channels. It's, you're weaponizing the terms of service here of YouTube by doing that. It's a dick move to do that. Thank you, Clay, for understanding how life works. John does not. But this is John. He's going to justify why he can report channels if he sees Cardiff show up on them.
I'm not saying I agree totally with that, but it's ban evasion, and you will get.
A fuck if you agree.
I know. I get it. 100%.
You tried to just.
I get it. 100%.
You had to disrupt my child's fucking graduation. I will report that motherfucker if he shows up anywhere. Any fucking where.
Oh, Jesus Christ. So again, he tried to disrupt. Now he's going to disrupt it by what? Filming from his phone? A graduation where everyone else also has their phones out?
Something that never was going to happen.
Never was going to happen. It was a one comment just kind of thrown out there. And now John's allowed to get everyone else's channel banned, whoever has Cardiff on the show for that. It's like, this is why everyone hates you, John. This is, and he's not going to understand this, but the Dr. Steve incident, that was how this all happened. You went too hard at someone who didn't deserve it, and everyone went, fuck you. And he's doing it again. And unless you were thinking that I wasn't going to put him blowing mucus all over his lap in slow-mo, you are wrong, because here it is. Oh, God. If he's not dehydrated from drinking too much, he's dehydrated from talking. It's the only guy who can get dehydrated from talking. It's fucking nuts. Oh, boy. Well, that's what John's up to. I'm very excited about that. John versus Chad. I couldn't think of a better storyline at this time in the Dabbleverse.
Never end.
It really reminds me of the Attitude Era of WWE. Just everything's going so well. Aaron's getting arrested. John and Chad are fighting. Kevin Brennan's like dying actively on his show. He's coughing and dying, and people aren't watching anymore. Yeah, Cardiff's gone. That fucking potatoes out of here.
Nobody's worried about
God
that.
is a dabbler.
That's
God
right.
is a dabbler.
God is definitely a dabbler.
Before you get off Chad, he had an interesting post on Instagram today.
Okay.
Where he wants to feature his September 2024 shows. He put 8 dates up, one of which is in August, and 2 are private parties.
Okay, so he's killing it.
Yeah.
All right,
Private parties. Why would you promote a private party?
to show that you actually have work when people are goofing on you for not having any work.
That's right. Oh, I get it. I didn't realize that. I wouldn't have brought it up then.
I don't know if it does this a lot anymore, but there are a lot of like local bands that you go to their shows tab and it's like past shows. This is a show like they played shows before. It's like, yeah, who cares? Not looking up to see when you played before. I want to see if you're playing anytime coming up.
Man, I wish I could have gone to that one.
Yeah, right. Like, but that's kind of like Chad's mentality too. It's just like, yeah, just throw as many dates up there as possible, make it look like I'm busy and people are interested in me. Okay, why not?
Loser.
Who are these